Just a quick update before the video begins on the subject of the house fire. It wasn't actually a house, it was a farm. My mum found out which farm it was, but I personally have actually forgotten. So if I find out, I will put a link in the description to the news report on that one to give people more information, because I understand that I could have worried some people, because I was worried myself. I still haven't opened my windows actually from that, so I should probably get on to doing that. But either way, that should be it for now. Please enjoy the video. Minecraft MyStreet. An endless cornucopia of possibilities for all sorts of things, but mostly theories. That's what we're here for. And I was watching a few old episodes of it. I watched one of season 5, then maybe 3 of season 2, and then I got on to kind of non-canon territory. You know, not the mini games per se, although I do miss those. No, I'm talking about the fan fiction readings. I was going through the playlist and I got to the video called Gareth Gets Married, and that video is very interesting because we get this line.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Kaitlyn ever liked me anyway.
Yeah.
Zane, you want to read this one?
Get popcorn.
So the question for today is, do Kaitlyn and Aphmau have a secret romantic past? So I understand that the fanfiction readings aren't canon, but the character interactions are based on somewhat of a reality, and it's fair to say that Jess and Lizzie had some sort of coordination towards that reaction. I imagine that with voice actors they will ask a bunch of questions about the characters, like I'm doing currently now for this thing that I'm planning to audition for as a voice actor, to the directors. In this case, I'm sure that Lizzie would have asked a few questions about Kaitlyn, and maybe got a bit of curious information, because, you know, you need to know about the past to kind of have character interactions like that. And MyStreet is a series that has delved into the past quite a lot, because we have maybe, I don't know, 3 prequel series at the moment to it. So it's not like we haven't got our share of prequels. In those 4 prequels, I should say, we have got this bit of information from Sylvana.
I kinda had this feeling you were into both guys and gals.
And of course, we know by now that Kaitlyn dated Luca, who, by the way, I have a theory on where she's gone because I was requested to do that. That's been pre-recorded and will be released at some other point. I have everything that I need for that except for video footage, so I'll compile that at some point. Either way, so it is fairly obvious that by now that Kaitlyn is bisexual. Now, identifying this trait successfully in other people isn't something that everyone can do. I personally struggle with that, and I know a lot of people who, you know, aren't that good at predicting that. And a lot of it is because, obviously, you know, people are heteronormative. That's kind of that. But there's also the matter of you can never be 100% accurate, because people's personality traits, you know, aren't defined necessarily by their sexual orientation or anything, and that's perfectly normal. But people who are notoriously successful in identifying sexual orientations of people are their parents. In particular, mothers, as far as I can understand, from watching people film their coming out videos or whatever. A lot of the time it's the mothers who always knew, apparently, and the fathers who are always surprised. I don't know, something like that. But who knows? Maybe it's possible that Aphmau is bisexual as well. I mean, why not, really? When writing roleplays, they do say make all of your characters bisexual because you never know who they can build romantic chemistry with as you write. That's also an aspect of literature, actually. They say that that's a good point to get across, because if the story progresses in one way, you can sometimes end up with a completely different result than what you were expecting. And as an aspiring author, I respect that, and I understand that completely. So it's not without reason that at some point Aphmau and Kaitlyn would have had a romantic past. Now, I'm guessing that would happen sometime in high school, because by this point Sylvana obviously knows. And of course, given Sylvana's disapproval of boys at the time, maybe the fact that Aphmau would have been on a date with a girl would have been somewhat better for her. In fact, I'm almost certain that it would, because really, how many times have we heard the phrase, "Is that a boy?" coming from Sylvana in Season 1 of Phoenix Drop High, let's face it. Which is, by the way, also a typical mother cliche. The other thing that I'm basing this theory on is the fact that Kaitlyn and Aphmau mentioned before, well, kind of mentioned, they didn't exactly say it, but it was implied that at one point they did end up kissing.
The next question is, Aphmau, why did Kaitlyn say we've done this before when she tried to kiss you?
Dun, dun.
Really?
Is it hot in here or is it just you? I mean me.
What?
What's going on?
I forgot what the question was.
Yeah, I did too. That question never existed. Let's just ignore it.
But what does this all mean? Where am I trying to end up with this theory? Well, honestly, not really much of anywhere at all. I only bring it up because, like I say, the best theories are the ones that will likely never get proven. This one, I kind of wish would get proven, because, yes, I know how many times I've said I support traveling, and I still do. But I also enjoyed seeing Kaitlyn's interactions with Luca, especially because I knew that by the point of the actual MyStreet series, they weren't together anymore and something had happened. Past relationships aren't a problem. We've seen Kawaii-chan date Damien and that didn't work out. This is realistic, because sometimes relationships just don't work out. So why would that be any different in a universe such as MyStreet, which is supposed to be representing modern day? In particular, in high school, relationships don't necessarily last that long. Maybe they didn't actually end up in a relationship. I think they probably went on one date, kissed one time, and then decided, you know what, that's it, this isn't going to work, stay friends. And they kind of did. It was probably awkward for an amount of time, but by some point, they were okay. And this would work as kind of a mini-series. I mean mini-series, as in 2 or 3 episodes tops. Like with The Wolf's Tale, where we get the origins of the plush. Because a lot can be taken from that. I mean, I made a theory called Origins of the Plush from A Wolf's Tale, pretty much alone. So that's really all I would be looking for in this. I'm kind of considering writing a fan fiction of this, actually. So look forward to that in the future. Once I actually do that, I will link that in the description as well, underneath the whole fire thing, actually, because that's more important. So yeah, actually I'd better get on with writing that. That would be my first character fan fiction, I think, which is interesting, because I never thought I was going to do one of those, but now I've actually grown kind of interested in what would actually have happened and how that would have been. Well, either way, like I said, it probably will never get confirmed, and the answer to the question that I proposed is the same as most of my theories. I know, probably. And on that note, until next time, let me know your thoughts below, and farewell.